guys, welcome to Creatively Homemade. My name is Jennifer. If you've not watched one of my videos before, I love to share paper crafting projects with you. So thank you guys so much for taking time out of your busy day to watch one of my videos. I really appreciate it. So today I have for you a cute little Christmas card, very simple to put together, so cute. Now this uses the new Candy Cane Season stamp set and the Candy Cane Punch, which is super cute. So let's get started and I will show you how easy it is to put this card together. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the supplies you're going to need. You're going to need the Candy Cane Season bundle. That's this cute Candy Cane Season stamp set and the Candy Cane Builder Punch that punches out a candy cane and a bow at the same time. Now if you get these together as a bundle, you save 10%. So I've included the link to that bundle down in the description box below this video in case you want to save a little bit of money. You're going to need some ink pads. The paper I'm using, the red is Cherry Cobbler and the green is Mossy Meadow. I have used Real Red and Old Olive just to make it stand out a little bit. I'm going to be doing some stamping on Mossy Meadow cardstock and I like the way the Old Olive looked. So that's what I've pulled out for that. You're going to need some paper. This is the Festive Farmhouse paper pack. It's got some really cute rustic designs, plaids and things like that. Super cute. So I'm going to show you this card made with a couple different designs from this paper pack. And there's the back sides. Really cute for Christmas. Not, you know, overly Christmassy, but definitely would work for gift tags and packaging and things. And then you're going to also need some cardstock. You're going to need Whisper White, Cherry Cobbler, and Mossy Meadow. And then lastly, you're going to need some adhesive. I've used just our regular snail tape runner, some Stampin' Dimensionals, and some mini glue dots. Okay, you want to start by cutting your paper. So I'm using Whisper White for the cardstock base. So I've cut an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock in half. So it's 8.5 inches by 5.5 inches. Now you want to put the long edge at the top of your scoring board and score that at 4.25 inches. And then just fold that in half, and that's your card base. The next layer you're going to need is a piece of Mossy Meadow or Cherry Cobbler, depending on the designer series paper you're going to be choosing. And that is going to be 4 inches by 4.75 inches. You're going to need a piece of designer series paper from that Festive Farmhouse paper pack. And that needs to be 3.75 inches by 4.5 inches. Then you're going to need a 2.75 inch square from the same color cardstock that you used for the first layer, and you're going to need a 2.5 inch white square. And if you missed any of those dimensions, be sure to click down to the description box below this video. I'm going to have a blog post up that has all those measurements printed out for you. Okay, the next step is to do some stamping. I've got a scrap of Whisper White cardstock here, and I'm going to put it into place in my Stamparatus and put a magnet to hold that down. Now, anytime you're using two-step stamps, you want to use something like a Stamparatus. It makes your life so much easier, especially if you are making multiple cards. Now, this Candy Cane Season does have the candy cane outline and then the candy cane details that you need to line up perfectly. So using the grids on the Stamparatus plates, that makes it so easy to line up those stamps. Now anytime you're using the Stamparatus, I recommend using mini stamping spots to ink up your images. You can use the bigger ones, but I found that you tend to get ink all around the images because the ink pads are so big. So Stampin Up sells these blank Stampin' spots, and you can just use your ink refill bottles to add several drops of ink to those spots, and you can have mini ink pads in whatever color you want. So I'll link to that down in the description box below. So just use your mini Stampin' spots all over that stamp, pull the plate down, and press on the image. Just like that. If for some reason you don't get a complete image the first time, it's going to be perfectly placed. You can just bring that plate back down again and stamp right over it. So then I'm going to do the more detailed candy cane image. So this second plate comes over from the left, and then you just press on that image. And you've got a perfectly stamped candy cane. Now if you need more information about the Stamparatus and would like to purchase one, I have the link down in the description box below so that you can learn more about this neat stamping tool. Okay, so I put my Stamparatus away and now we're ready to do a little bit of stamping in green. So I've pulled out my old olive stamp pad. You could also use Mossy Meadow. I just don't happen to have that one yet. So we're going to be first stamping a sentiment. You can either use Be Jolly or 'Tis the Sweet Season. I'm going to use 'Tis the Sweet Season. And you want to stamp that at the bottom right corner of your card base. Okay, set that aside. The next stamping we are going to do is the bow. You want to use the detailed bow stamp. Ink that up with your green ink and stamp it onto Mossy Meadow. Okay, and then the last stamp that we're going to use is this holly leaf, the detailed one. So turn that 2.5 inch square so that you have a point facing up, and then we're going to be stamping 2 holly leaves right in about the center. You want the stem facing inward. This is just going to be used to frame that candy cane. So stamp it once and then stamp it the other side, just like that. The next step is to use that candy cane builder punch to punch out the candy cane and the bow stamped images. So turn it over. That's going to allow for precise placement of that stamped image. Put your stamped image into the punch and line it up until there's an even border all the way around. And give it a punch. Just like that. Now you're going to get an extra little bow punch shape too, but you can use that on another project. And then do the same thing with that bow stamped image and cut it out. Line it up, give it a punch, and you have a perfect little bow to add to your card. Okay, so we have all our pieces cut and we are ready to put our card together. I've just pulled out my different forms of adhesive that I mentioned earlier. I've pulled out some sequins, gold or silver, whichever color you want to use, and then I have a paper piercing tool to make the backings easier to get off. So let's start with that Mossy Meadow card base and your designer series paper. We're going to adhere those together, and I'm just using snail for that. Okay, just leave an even border all the way around. Flip that over and add adhesive to the back of it. And we're going to put that down on the card base. And it's going to look like that. Next, you want to adhere that holly leaf stamped piece to your cardstock square. So just add adhesive to that. You can see I had messed up a little bit earlier, so I just turned the paper over so I wouldn't waste that piece of cardstock. Perfectly okay to do if you make a boo-boo. We're all human, right? Okay, just like that. Then turn that over and go ahead and add Stampin' Dimensionals to the back of it. That's going to pop it up a little bit and add some nice interest to your card. And this is where the paper piercing tool comes in. That makes it easier to get those backings off the Stampin' Dimensionals. Okay. And then you're going to pop that in the center of that designer series paper layer with a point going up and down, just like that. Next, you want to add your candy cane. It's going to go right in the center. I'm using mini Stampin' Dimensionals for that. I'm going to add about 3. These are really nice to have on hand for your smaller die cut pieces when you want to pop them up off your card. They work just like the larger ones, so they still have the adhesive backing on them that you need to remove. Okay, so then just put that candy cane at an angle in the center there. If it's not perfect with the stamping, that's all right. We're going to put a bow across there so it'll cover it anyway. So next, take that bow shape. I'm just going to add a mini glue dot to the back of it. Our mini glue dots come on a roll, so they're easy to use. I just found this dispenser at Michael's, and it works perfectly with the Stampin' Up! Mini glue dots. So add that bow right to the center of your candy cane. Now the only thing we're going to do to finish that off is to add some sequins. You can place them wherever you like. I am going to put mine down on the bottom for this card. Just make sure the mini glue dots are a tiny bit bigger than the sequins so you can kind of push any extra adhesive down behind it. And I'm just going to grab one more. This is an old pack of sequins that I have on hand. You can use any color. You can get all sorts of colors of sequins at craft stores or on Amazon. Red or green would look cute with this too. I'm just using what I have. And that's all there is to it. Quick and easy Christmas card. So I made a couple different variations of this card using different patterns in that Festive Farmhouse Designer Series paper set. So that's the one I demonstrated for you today. Here's one I used a red plaid background. So I thought that one was cute too. Here's one where I did something a little bit different and I used a scalloped square from the Layering Squares die set instead of using a straight edge square, so I thought that turned out cute. I also put the sequins in a different position. And then the last one uses a red and green check pattern. Now this one I didn't pop up that candy cane. I kind of wish I did. I think it adds a little something special when you pop up that candy cane on mini Stampin' Dimensionals. So be sure to leave me a comment below and let me know which one of those cards you preferred. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you have enjoyed this Christmas card tutorial and I hope it has inspired you to do some Christmas crafting. Now if you need any of the supplies that I featured in this video, including that Candy Cane Season bundle, be sure to check out the description box below this video. I have links to all the supplies that I used, and that goes directly to my Stampin' Up! Store, so if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would be honored if you would choose to purchase from me, and I would be most appreciative. Thank you guys so much for watching. Happy crafting!